Oh, I would assume I'm live, but I don't look very live. I'll just wait a little while. See if I can get a bit lighter. Oh, that'll do. It's a little bit lighter. Wow, that was quick. Hello, Larry. Hope you're well. Getting ready for the festive season. I hope Oxana as well too. Hi, NFJ. It's good to read you. The blue wrenches are zooming in. Hope you're all getting ready for the festive season as well. Hence the religious, not religious, spiritual title-ish, I suppose. Just wait for a few people to pop in. Well, might be just us, you never know. Oh, well, I thought that was a time then. I was going to say, wow, that went quick. It's just minutes, not the time at all. So I hope you're all well, or at least the two of you that are here. Oh, reminds me of a song that does the Larry. What's that? Not Zoom. Hey, my name's Larry. I can't remember. Can't remember. Baby B, woohoo! Hey, Tim as well. Hi everyone, listening but driving. Oh, cool. Well, don't pay too much attention. I'd rather you concentrate on the road. Hey, Amy Green, how you doing? It's good to see you. So, before everybody jumps in anyway, a second edition of There's Treasure Inside. Wow, that was quick. I don't know how many the first edition was for, but a second edition and already out, and we're not even a month in. Wow, that's pretty good going, that is. Pretty good going. So that means it should be taken off. Well, it depends how many. So I don't normally like to assume, but in this instance, I probably would have to assume that, there wasn't 1,000,000 printed or 500,000 printed. But if only 100 books were printed, then a second edition wouldn't be, too much of a shock. But if 500,000 were printed and there was a second edition, that would be a bit different. So obviously depends on how many were printed in the first place as to why a second edition already. But, nothing to be sniffed at. Forrest said, mother and father are dead, who's going to buy my books? So I wonder what John would have said if he was asked the same question. So I'm not religious, but I'm the most spiritual man that I know. And for me, it's a little bit, not a little bit, a lot, and there aren't much, there aren't really coincidences, within the universe. But happiness is the pot, and now we have joy, and both of them are very religious or spiritual. Now, if Ashley was here, I'm sure that she would say, if you were doing divine tarot readings, that happiness and joy would be two of the most important words that you would get. So, not religious but spiritual. One has happiness and indulgence, and the other so far has joy. That must make one think. Well, I would think anyway. Hey, UK Paul. Paul. How you doing, mate? I hope all is well up there. Weather's lousy down here, mate. Just more rain and more rain and more rain. Not low rain, more rain. Hope you and the family are well. I'm glad you're here. And surprised you're awake. Those two things, as much as each other. Glad you are here and surprised you're awake in the same amount of measure. But I am glad you are here and glad you're awake. Unless that's AI talking to me. Almost reminds me of the song again. Hey, Paula. It's a mighty pink hand. So happiness and joy. Why is happiness the pot? And why is this, I want to call it a chase, and I'm going to call it a chase. Why is this chase also about happiness or joy? And is joy the pot? So, with it being this time of year, Christmassy time, and I know some people don't believe, in God or in Jesus, whatever. And it's difficult sometimes, when you have like the two genealogies, the two families of Christ, where Christ came from. Is it Matthew and Luke? They talk about two different families. That's a bit weird. You would think that if the Bible was telling you something about this special person, that there wouldn't be a discrepancy between the family line of Jesus Christ. But apparently there is. That's a bit weird. Raining there as well. Have you been singing? That's just to stop using that drone. That's why it's raining. Keep you inside. Not sticking a drone up outside somebody's window. But I'm getting the feeling that, this is coming to a head, that we are going to hear important information. He punts, epic fun and answers maybe. But I believe that the timeline that we are in is determined. Some would even say divine. And we should know pretty much what this was about. The masks are off or should be off, or will be off. And information should flow, if that's the right word. So all those that were involved in the chase potentially should, have resolution, which is the big picture maybe. And then we would have there's treasure inside. How do we move forward with similar but different information? Now I know, people have been going through the word search in John's book, which, when you think about it, you're making the point, knowingly or unknowingly, that there were two geniuses that created treasure hunts worth millions of dollars. And you can't overlook that fact. There was a genius who wrote The Thrill of the Chase, Major Forrest Fenn. You know, the book wrote itself. If it didn't, I would struggle. A poem that he crafted 15 years, felt like an architect. Say puzzle or poem? A poem that it took 15 years. Well, puzzle as well, I suppose. And Forrest gave us all that information to tell us how he did, you know, how he did that. And then we have a word search. One would think, you know, simple. You know, kids do word search, so yeah, easy. And yet the way that it's put together, there's only supposed to be 5 answers, and there's lots. And they are methodical, precise, trying to think of another word, but I can't. But basically, letting you believe that the information you have is the only information that is able to be got, because it's such a specific way of doing it. And the information that you find is specific information, leading you to believe that there's probably 20 chests out there. And that doesn't quite work with what's being said. So how do you go about finding what is worth knowing and what isn't worth knowing? So I said a while ago that anybody involved in the thrill of the chase has a head start in John's hunt. There's treasure inside. They have a head start because information given by Major Forrest Fenn can be, I don't know whether to say relatable or transferable, but can be used to help you in there's treasure inside. And if you choose to ignore it, then you're going to make the same mistakes that were made in the thrill of the chase, which is basically, I am better than the person that did this. That's basically what it is. That's just ego coming up with an answer, trying to beat someone at a game that is being played, and ultimately saying, I'm better than this person and I have the answer. And yet this person said, if they haven't solved it in 10 years, I'll give them a clue in about 8. So to me, like, if I made that statement, I'll never make that statement, but if I made that statement, that to me says, you, all of you, whatever you're working on won't give you the answer. Because I'm pretty certain that, you know, John has an idea of what's being worked on, what's being said. And that's not saying that those answers are incorrect. That's saying that you're not going to find whatever it is you're looking for because the person that created it says, I'll give you some clues in 8 years' time. To me, that's scary. That's like, what? Hang on. You're going to give clues in 8 years' time. And yet these people have already got, you know, what they think is the word search solved. which means they're going to go out and get this chest or a chest or them chests. And you're quite nonchalantly, that word, saying, well, if they haven't got it solved, I don't want it to outlive me. I'll give them clues in 8 years' time. On the one hand, saying he's a genius for doing this word search. And on the other, yeah, we know where it is. We're going to go get it. Okay, so this genius that did this word search, you're better than him, and you did it. I don't know. I'm a bit worried. I don't like that. UK says, get them thumbs up. Okay. Oh, them thumbs up. Yeah, I've got 2. Thank you. Thank you. Hi. So that's the wrong hi. Let's go back and do that again. Hi. As in, you're not expecting to see me. Hello, Tigger. Jeep Girl. I always love it when you come in. Jeep Girl. Hello, friends. Happy almost Friday. Yes, we are in the festive season. Not religious, spiritual, or not spiritual, religious season, depending on how you look at it. Sorry, was busy doing things and listening. Hello, all in room, says Davy B. It's good to read you, Jeep Girl. I don't see you that often, but when I do, it's always a happy, jovial welcome and chat. So, how do you go about not falling into the same traps that were fallen into in the Forrest Fenn of the Chase? And I say it like that, you can say rabbit holes, you can say all of those things, but how do you go about not doing the same thing, not making the same mistakes? What potentially could happen is everybody that's doing these solves that think they have the answer, even though there's more answers than there are chests, eventually they'll give up with using the word search and do what John said, do. Read the book, which is what Forrest Fenn said, do. Read the book, read the poem, read the book. So I'm of the opinion, and you'd have to take no notice of me, I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm nobody. But I'm of the opinion, if I was going to do a treasure hunt and I was going to do a word search and you needed to find the answer in that word search, I would let you know before you got to the word search how or what you're supposed to find in there. So you didn't spend all your time doing 20, 30, 40 different, variations of the same thing and not have it nailed down. Because I think that's where we are again. We're going to be in a position where we have all of these solves and they all look great, but there is no confirmer. So math is always going to be wrong, in my opinion. But what do I know? I have a solve for past and future. I think everybody does, Tigger. I think everybody has a solve. That's the issue. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say. And everyone's going to believe the solve and everyone's going to go out to the place or whatever. And it'll be similar to what Forrest said. Somebody beat them or it's all a hoax. This is pretty much going the same way as the Forrest Fenn of the Chase. And nobody wants to listen to that. They don't want to listen to the fact that they're pretty much the same words. Happiness, joy, it's the same word with the same meaning. Now, is there some instance that John will say, joy is the pot, fate deals you 5 cards and a joker, etc., etc. And again, we're at 5. So you want 5 chests, and then you've got 5 cards. You've got a joker, which is a jack. So potentially you could have 5 chests and a jack. Happiness is the pot, so joy could be the pot. So potentially, I'm not saying it is, but potentially, if you think about it, that poem in the Thrill of the Chase could be talking about there's treasure inside. That's a bit weird. So who would be the joker in there's treasure inside? So we're in this never-ending story. Let's say it's that. I did a video about that. We're in this never-ending story, and I feel, well, it will end, but at the moment it seems never-ending. So I feel that if we want the answers, we need to finish the first Thrill of the Chase. We need to understand what that was about. Now, people don't want to admit that John has a connection with the Thrill of the Chase, but he has a Forrest Fenn box, and he has an olive jar directly linked to the Thrill of the Chase. And as of yet, we haven't seen the chest indulgence. We haven't seen the items that were in it, and we don't know where they are. Well, we shouldn't know where they are. And we were told by Forrest Fenn about him in his car at the Denver Museum. We haven't seen that. We were told by Forrest Fenn that it would be announced on CNN. We haven't seen that. So it's hard to believe that we have the ending to the Thrill of the Chase. And I say it's hard to believe because I have faith that the information that we've got is the truth. We have the truth. That's the information we got. We got the truth from Forrest Fenn. And the Thrill of the Chase will have the ending that is CNN and the Denver Museum. Forrest in the car at the Denver Museum. Whether he's in a disabled, parking, or, whether you have to get the stuff out of the boot and that ends it. However, that's supposed to be. But those are the things we were told. And to just ignore them is just going to make life difficult for people. And to carry on without the information from Forrest Fenn ringing in your ears just seems very strange to me. Uh-oh. You do? Down to a few feeds. Laugh out loud. Exciting. I need my search partners. Uh-oh, more than one. That's bad news. Joy is a clue. I'm sure it is. It wouldn't have been given otherwise. Plan it out. Get boots on the ground. I hope you have I'm broke. I hope you have a good contract with these search partners. Yeah, this time of the year is not the best time to be talking about let's call it treasure hunting. To be talking about treasure hunting. So, I don't know how many times either Forrest Fenn or John can warn people about going out in this kind of weather, braving the elements. braving the wilderness. I suppose the only good thing is that, the bear should be asleep, but that's about it. Yeah, not good. But people are just going to ignore it anyway. That I'm going to call it greed. That greed will make them do things that, otherwise they wouldn't do. And, that's a shame. I think it's going to be easy to find as many souls as you want. No different than, the Forrest ran for the chase. And I think all of those souls are going to be convincing. No different than the Forrest ran for the chase. But what we should have learnt is, don't put yourself at risk. It isn't worth it. People went out and potentially, even if they got to their search area, it probably wasn't there. I think the genius behind any of this was hard to work out. It wasn't as easy as people made it out to be. It wasn't as simple as people made it out to be. And it wasn't in all of those, hundreds of thousands of locations that people thought it was. It just wasn't. There was one chest, and there's, hundreds of thousands of people who say they know where it was. And it obviously wasn't in all of those places. So, sometimes just hearing the truth for what it is can save you a whole lot of grief. So nothing is as it seems, to me, is saying, if I say it's nighttime, you need to go out and have a look out the window, because all I did was paint the windows black, made it look dark, or covered it over with a curtain or something with little stars on them, just to make you think it was nighttime. But the fact that I told you nothing is as it seems means, don't believe what you see, don't believe what you hear. Work it out, look at it, figure it out, check it, those sort of things. Well, get some funds together, Tigger. Too cold and snowy out right now. Yes, I think, oh, he definitely does. I don't know what that was to, but yeah, good. CNN. Yeah, so CNN was this is where it's going to be announced when the chase ends. So my recollection, and I could be wrong, but my recollection is K-Pros and CNN was, when the chase is finished, those would be the news outlets for the chase. I grew up going to that museum. I remember every year riding the school bus. Is that because it was too far to walk, Jeep Girl? Or Jody? Let's call you Jody if you don't mind. Because the actual definition of too far to walk is why you have those buses. Because it was too far to walk for a child to get to school. So anybody who lived more than 2 miles, up to 2 miles, it's too far to walk. So they put on buses. And you took the bus to school because it was too far to walk. Is this the fun part of the chase? The chase has always been fun. If you believed in Forrest, a maverick, if you had faith, if you heard, then it was all fun. because basically what you're doing is just playing along with Forrest, playing a few games, finding out information. So it should have all been fun, going out into nature. It should have all been fun. And Forrest said that, don't take it too seriously, just have fun, etc., etc. And this might be the same, you might be told the same thing, don't take it too seriously, just have fun with it. But then you have, you need answers, it's supposed to be epic. All of these things, will happen. And pack lunch, pack lunch at the pond. Sack lunch at the pond. Not sure what that means. I think it's pack lunch at the pond. I have a solve for Xavier Marks too. Oh, and it looks like you have one for ha 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 as well. Not too many ha ha ha's. Tigger, you're going to be rich. Have you worked on TBS? Don't know what that is. I know it's a hunt, but I'm not sure which one that. Oh, the Beacon Star. Have a solve for the Beacon Star, but I can't seem to give it away. Oh, do you want me to tell you where that is? Just a token. It's just a token solve that I have. Well, Tigger, get on it. What is TBS? The Beacon Star. You just said I have a solve for the Beacon Star. And then you ask, what is TBS? Unless I'm wrong and it's not the Beacon Star. But it could be the Beacon Star because TBS. Tigger, you just made me sing out the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I remember a time when my Wrangler started getting old and I felt uncomfortable going off-road. Then I couldn't go out driving at all. I wrote Forrest and pouted. But I have a reliable Jeep again. I love that. That's brilliant, that is. Especially the pouted. Give it away now. Give it away, give the Beacon Star away. I'm sure Mike will have it off you. The Denver Museum of Nature and Science is part of Denver City Park, so metro area schools would do field trips to the museum and all the buses would line up in the park. Ooh, that's good to know. How far are you from Denver? How far are you from Denver, Jody? Close enough to get the token for the Beacon Star, I would imagine. The museum's original brick building is inside the current building, not the Raisin building. You are right now. I meant the Beacon Star. There you go. I meant the Beacon Star, Beacon Star. So yes, Tigger said the Beacon Star, then she said, what's TBS? To be sure. This new hunt hits really close to home for me. I'm not sure how to take that. This new hunt hits really close to home for me. 'Tis fun, I think. Got my brain learning. Woohoo! Yeah, I think, hey, Luli, how you doing? Good evening. It is a good evening. Hope you and your family are doing well. I'm about 30 minutes. We go there all the time. It's my downtown when all the lights are on. I want my invite to the banquet already. Well, no, you can make your own way there, I suppose. But some people probably going to go in a Bentley, something like that. Have you got a black Bentley? Just hanging around, ready to pick you up and take you. I wonder how many people will be invited to the leftovers of history, was it? The banquet table. I can't remember how that went now. Isn't it amazing when you don't keep saying or reading the same stuff, it suddenly leaves you. The banquet table of history? Just the banquet table of history, I think that's what it was. I went to the Beacon Star Soul once, but COVID had it closed down. Oh, Jody, do you want some hints? Sure, I bet I can guess. Watching Randy talk, watching Randy talk, it was almost like, people are so close. Like they know, or they should know what the answer is. And yet people are like, no, I don't know what it is. And he said you could get within like 3 fingers, didn't he, or whatever? Get that close to it. So that's a pretty telling solution, isn't it? Think. So there must be something obvious that stands out. Excuse me. So if you're looking for an answer for where it is, let's say, what should we say? A gate. Let's say a gate. And you get to this gate. Now it's either going to be on the left-hand side of the gate or the right-hand side of the gate. And it's going to have a plaque or a piece of information. If it's on the ground, then the plaque is going to be low. If the token's high up, then the plaque is going to be high. If it's in a tree, then it will be on a certain branch of that tree. So the information that you read for the solve must be talking about one specific object that when you find it, there is only that much that you need to be concerned about. So it's not, the answer is not going to be under a bench, because that's not going to get you to within that. The answer is not going to be, in a stream, or, trying to think of all the, it's not going to be their scenarios. Has to be the overriding feature. There has to be one. There has to be above everything else that's around there. There has to be a certain place that you have to get to. Now, in some areas, there are elevation plaques, or, whatever they call them, little plates in the ground that could tell you what the elevation is, could tell you where the place is, or whatever. But there's going to be something like that that says, once you find this spot, that's where the token is. and it has to be at that point. That's what you're looking for, that spot, to get that close. So you're not looking for anything big. Well, it might be big, but the area between the big and the token is only that much. So I'd say it shouldn't be massive. It shouldn't be massive. So that's my thought on TBS. I probably have more info than anyone would ever need. Oh, that's almost giving out who you are, isn't it? I have been to Denver, but not. So let's do this properly. I've been to Denver Airport because I went to Casper, and I've been to Denver in The Thrill of the Chase through the map. That's the poem, and Google Earth. So I've seen. I probably know more about Wyoming, Denver, Montana, and New Mexico than I know about my own country, because lots and lots of solves, and they took me everywhere. I think everybody did the ORI solve in Colorado, and I'll be surprised if they didn't. But is it Montrose up there? From there, there's so many solves you could just, like, as you come down. You have like Mayday and stuff like that on the left hand side as you're coming down. Then you've got Telluride and those sort of things. Denver's way over there somewhere on the. If you're looking at it, ORI's there. Denver's over there somewhere. Ada's around coming down. So as you're coming down, Ada's on the left over that way, which wasn't a bad solve. Ada wasn't a bad solve. Mayday wasn't a bad solve. Telluride, Golden. I think Golden's in Colorado. Estes Park, Dinosaur Monument thingamajiggy, which is going into south of Wyoming, up that way. I think it was. Can't remember. I think it was. But yeah, so I haven't been to Denver and seen, although I feel like I have. I haven't seen it. But yeah, walk through that big Denver airport. That's about it. Saw the crazy weather looking out of the airport, the lightning and everything. That was, it was dry where we were, but there was, grey clouds and thunder and lightning in the distance. Well, I'm not definite, but I am pretty sure that I am close. Which one? The beacon star? Yeah, that would be interesting, because that's been a long treasure hunt, which has so you would assume that you would need the book, but because Mike does all of those meetings and gets together, then you probably don't need the book as long as you have all the information, because I haven't done the beacon star, but I'd have to assume that you have to have all the information. I'm not saying that's what John's hunt is about, but you have to have all the information, one after the other. So when you get to the end, that's the last place that you go to. So you can't miss out all that information. You just have one piece of information to get you there, because that would be scary, wouldn't it? If all you had to do was solve one part of the book to get the answer. He thinks a fairy will find it. Well, that's because there's a fairy there. He drives a Tinkerbell car. Well, yeah. So that's pretty much what I was saying about, you have to have a spot that you go to, and then it's that far away from the spot. So if there was a fairy and that's what you're looking for, then you go to the fairy and you find a token. That's how simple it is, or should be. So if the fairy is with her feet on the ground, then you just go to her foot. I suppose, maybe there's one that's on a pole or something, but you could go to her foot. The parking lot for Denver is easily accessible from 22nd Avenue. I've been to that museum too. I think Capra went there, didn't she? To the secret room. There are thousands of plaques and markers. Yes, but that's exactly what I'm saying. There is, in the book, probably going to be the specific place. The information for the specific place. One piece of information that says this is where it is. Especially if it's a fairy. When they were plotting the roads, even diagonals and parkways, they built government buildings on high areas, bluffs. His father didn't know what a bluff was. So there are civic views, and there was always a view of the front range. I don't know, that doesn't ring a bell with me. Front range. My greatest achievement was taking my mom boots on the ground. Woohoo! I didn't get the chance to take that. Oh, sorry to hear that, Larry. And they built parkways to connect so you could walk or bike along green paths. That could be a hint. The Capitol was built on Brown's Bluff. You're giving away too much information, Ms. Madam Jody. Are you giving away the 10th clue there? My friend lived near there. Lives or lived. I told her where I thought it was and she dismissed me. Wow. That's your friend? You call that person your friend? Listen, there's a token. Can you go and see if it's there? No, get lost. Okay. No snow here on the northern Rockies Valley floor. Usually warm and fall like 40s today. 40s. I am, oh, that's not too bad. 7 degrees. Oh, the 7 degrees. Yeah, my heart goes out to you, Larry. I'm sorry, Larry. I lost a parent too. Sorry, Jody. Wow. I hope you keep going boots on the ground for you. Yes, you need to go boots on the ground in There's Treasure Inside. Are you doing the Treasure Inside stuff? I'm not sure you are, but I'll give my location to you, Jody. Do you want it? Sure, if it is correct, and I go down, I'll halve with you. There you go. How simple was that? That should make Randy sit up and take notice now. I wish you both luck. It'd be nice, actually, if it was you two. It'd be very good. I have no idea what it was that I was saying. None at all. What did I put on the front? Religious, spiritual. Genealogies of Jesus. 2. Saint Germain. Didn't he come up in The Thrill of the Chase? Wasn't he the one who said he lived 500 years or something? A long time anyway, like Methuselah. or was immortal, or whatever the story was. I wonder like if you can live again, or you can be immortal. Like you can fountain of youth type thing, just never old, never age, never old. What sort of English is that? Never age. I think I have at least 20 locations and 6 to 8 more for 22 places. DB, don't tell us all. Well, I thought we were going to say DB Cooper then. Happy hunting. You just told everybody. She'll probably get there and it'll be gone. Oh, joy. Well, I hope she brings you joy in the There's Treasure Inside hunt. But you have to pay to go in there. Excuse me, pay to go in where? The little house to be DBG. Yeah, but it has to be a tiny house because it has to be within that far, that close. And he did it that way. He didn't do it that way. He didn't say three fingers. 3 fingers. Which is almost like a curb, isn't it? Like a little curb. Little step. There is a clock though. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Yep. Perfect idea though. Wash your hands. There are places connected there, but you have to pay to enter. What did Randy say on that? Did he say there were that you'd have to pay to find it? I don't know if that'd be a fair way to hide something, where somebody had to pay to go in and get it. I'd be shocked if Randy did something like that. I haven't had time to read my new Treasure Inside book next week. I get the feeling that everyone's going to have time to read it if John is truthful in his word that he will give clues in 8 years' time. He said that he goes there a lot. What up, peeps? How's the BOTG going? For me, it ain't going. It ain't going. It's good to see you, Kiwi. We're in the festive season now. And unfortunately, there are many different types of ways that we take the festive season now. We have those miserable sons of bees who don't want to get involved in it. We have those that aren't religious who don't believe in it. We have those who really love it. I'm thinking about putting up decorations. Not decorations, lights. Don't do decorations anymore. I love that, Juga. Hello, Kiwi's bird parent. Lily, it's fantastic. Feels fun again. Get on reading because it is a lot. Yeah, I was shocked when I saw it. I was blown away. I said to Davey, wow, that's daunting. Looking at that book, massive. I was hoping that when you opened it, like the words were that big, but it wasn't. It wasn't. The only good thing is there are a lot of pictures, so that helps. And by a lot of pictures, I mean big pictures, so it takes up the whole page. So that helps. So there aren't as many pages to read, but there are a lot of, a big book. And that, I thought, wow. And it's so, can't think of the word. Not ergonomically designed, but it's such an appealing book to look at, and to feel. There's like it feels quality. It's a nice book. Like some books feel old even when you buy them new, but this is a nice book. I think 17th Street is important. Called the Wall Street of the Rockies, all the fancy banks. So you don't reckon that this fairy has anything to do with it? Like, you think it's just his car? I think the fairy has a lot to do with it. You must know the fairy Jeep girl in Denver. I would say he said more than he wanted to there. Just my, personal thought on it. The fairy has everything to do with it. Okay, there we go. Excuse me. There we go. The fairy has everything to do with it. And 16th Street is the pedestrian mall where they have the zombie crawl and the pavilions. That's not, hang on, 16th Street. Yeah, that's one thing I struggled with when I went over there, I must admit. Like, we don't do our roads like that. Like 4th and Main, or 16th and something or other, or whatever. It's like we just say, Vickers Road, Ashbank Road. That's it. There'll be a village, and there'll be a road in the village or the town, and it'll be the town name and the road, or the village and the road. There's none of this, 16th and Main, or 14th and whatever, or however you said it. So when I went over there, I was looking at the signs. I was thinking, what the heck does that mean? Didn't Fenn talk about a fairy rock? Jody, so excited. What do you think of people that solve the puzzle saying Colorado is one of the states? Probably put it where Randy's token is. It is history. Well, you would have to. I'd be very surprised if the answers weren't related to an event or a place that we've probably heard about in the chase. I've got to go soon, but if you care to read Ready Player One for past and present box, the audio book is free on YouTube right now. Cheers, Larry. Excuse me. Yeah, Ready Player One, again, talked about in Forrest Fenn's Thrill of the Chase, and now talked about again in, There's Treasure Inside. Amelia Earhart talked about, that there are a few. It probably won't take long before D.B. Cooper's talked about in John's Hunt, or the Omega Man in John's Hunt, or Who else? Who else was Forrest attributed to? I can't think now. But thanks for being here, Larry. Say hi to Oksana. Hope you have a great night. I would love it to be in Colorado. Oxo. I wonder if it's where that time capsule was. Or, oh no, I'll give it away. I'm not going to say. I want to say where it is, what it is, but I'm not going to. But that was a soul for in the Thrill of the Chase as well. Ooh, California as well. Yeah, that makes sense. But that would be a mammoth undertaking to go there. Wish one in Upper Northwest. Wish there was one in Upper Northwest. I hate your country. So, not in that way, but in this way. What am I thinking of over there? No. I get confused with those. So I thought California was that way. What am I thinking of? No, that wasn't in California. Where was the gold rush? The Californian gold rush. So isn't that west? Isn't that west, Luli? Oh, is that too far west? Wish Idaho, Montana. Yeah, but Colorado's just across, isn't it? Or down and across. Montana, Oregon, Idaho, Utah, Wyoming, Colorado. So Idaho, Utah is just up there, and Colorado's down. It's not too far. What do you think Santa Fe, Arizona means? Well, what if they were all 8.25 miles north of Santa Fe? Then that would be Santa Fe, 8.25 miles north in Arizona. That would be scary, wouldn't it? And there's a Santa Fe in Texas. And there's a Santa Fe. Can't remember. Where's it gone? Santa Fe. Can't remember. But there's a few more. Just like there's a Las Vegas in New Mexico. We have to figure out how to toss out our own ideas and think through the eyes and mind of John Collins Black. Well, you see, there is the issue. Did Monsieur John Collins Black, did he do this? Did he really do this? Is everything as it seems? Is he not another Jonathan Stoof? Is he not just part of the narrative? Like seeing a man who was in a group about 10 years ago. And 5 years ago, he was putting together a treasure hunt. And he was putting it together before The Forrest found further chase finished. And in the hunt that he was putting together, there's a Forrest Fenn box. 5 years ago. Forrest Fenn box. Forrest Fenn not finished yet. How did John know that he would get his hands on any Forrest Fenn stuff? Don't mess with my stuff. How is that possible? Now, people say, well, you know, he's going to go to auction, he's going to buy it. No, not necessarily. Whoever found the chest could have just sold it themselves. So how did John know that he was going to have some Forrest Fenn treasure to go in a Forrest Fenn box in his treasure hunt? Not only that, he ended up with an olive jar or a pickle jar. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know that I don't know. Yep, Caliph does make sense. I would go, yeah, me too. I would go Caliph. Because to the dirt, I'm Caliph, and to the Caliph, I am dirt. I just use the AI co-pilot on my laptop. Didn't Forrest say the original 10th value clue? Oh. Didn't Forrest say the original 10th clue was in the Arizona Museum parking lot? You're trying to confuse me, Jeep girl. Parking lot. And then, what's his name? Corrected him to the Denver Museum. No, other way around. Douglas Preston said that Forrest said it was in the Arizona. And Forrest said, no, it was in the Denver. But the Arizona is not relevant. So what is the link between the two? How does the Arizona car park link to the Denver car park? Probably worthwhile reading the poem. There is no Santa Fe, Arizona. Isn't there? There you go then. That says it all. Sorry for spelling. No, you're right. It's just weird trying to read them. It's like, what? Well, sometimes people do it on purpose, see. Like, if it was Forrest, I'd have to sit there for ages going, hang on a minute, he's trying to do something here. A through Z, no grand cipher caught, in my opinion. A through Z, no grand cipher caught, in my opinion. In my opinion, JCB likes rocks and gems, so any place in the mineral belt is likely. Gold Rush was why Denver was put on the map as well. So you would have to assume, well, not assume, deduce that if one of the poems, no one's even talked about the poem in the JCB book, but one of the poem talks about, I'll give you title to the gold. And there was a chest full of gold. And one would assume that because the Heritage Auction only had gold, that JCB bought that gold. What if he bought the 2 big nuggets? I mean, I don't know who bought the nuggets, but, you know, if there's if there's Forrest Fenn treasure, then he must have bought it from Forrest Fenn somehow. But if it was gold, then it's a safe bet that it's gold that, you know, or could be gold that is high on the list. And there is that place that does that panning, or whatever it is for turquoise, or whatever that place is. JCB took FF's unfinished book and created this book, in my opinion. Well, I'd say Forrest took his unfinished book and created this book, in my opinion. So Forrest said, there's some books in my desk that are unfinished. I'm not sure if I'll ever get to finish them. And then says in the poem, why is it that I must go? Maybe he did finish them. Maybe The Unbreakable Thread is one of those books. But Forrest also said he had a project. What could that project be? 3 books and a project. I didn't find any JCB treasure in Arizona or Nevada. Then again, I don't think I looked. No, I didn't find none with the kiwi. And then again, I don't think I looked. Excuse me. I'm going to ponder the Fenn box. Just thoughts. Ponder. Jody, Flagstaff. Ooh. Well, I think, excuse me, it's possible. I don't know why I've got a frog in my throat. I think it's possible that, excuse me, some of the souls in the Forrest Fenn chase are potential places. So if people are looking in Colorado, then anybody who had a solve in Colorado, you know. Richard, woohoo! How you doing? I didn't know you're here, but it's good to see you. I think religion is man-made. Spirituality is universal knowledge. Well, that's just flipped on its head, Kiwi, hasn't it? Because I think man is God-made. So if religion is man-made and God made man, then religion must be God-made. Went through Flagstaff yesterday. Uh-oh, what's all this? Went through Flagstaff yesterday and the day before. Were you travelling or did you do boots on the ground? I find it interesting that JCB worked on the Thrill of the Chase. University of Arizona. We're travelling for a funeral. A friend's... Oh, sorry to hear. I have one on the 16th. I don't know if I'm going. I don't know if I've got the wherewithal to cope with it, but we'll see. Have to wear orange because that was her favourite colour. So I haven't gotten the book, just listening to other searchers. Arizona was important in ways like the FBI raid. There is Indian culture there, similar to what Forrest was into. Yes. Same thing, kind of. JCB's coattailing the Thrill of the Chase with the FF box. Or Thrill of the Chase is part of TTI. Use Barnes and Noble Kiwi. I think he cared about Forrest like the rest of us. Plus, TTI is a good distraction. Absolutely. I think everybody cared about Forrest. I still care about Forrest. Where did Charlotte fly Forrest for that TV show? Like Yellowstone, but not that one. Wasn't that in Arizona? Ooh. I always thought that Yellowstone was in the pick before the one that's at stoof.com or something like that. No, it was an Aussie. Aussie. Something to do with Australia. I can't remember now. Do, do, do. I don't know where he flew, Forrest. I did get the Unbreakable Thread book. Only one thing that comes across as a clue is a picture of a beach chair and sand hill as a location or starting point. The words didn't say much more beyond its means. Didn't Forrest do some training in Arizona as well? Well, excuse me. You'd have to go back and say, well, hang on, Forrest talked about the Arizona car park and then went to the Denver Museum. What if it got mixed up? What if it was the Arizona for TTI and the Denver for Thrill of the Chase? Didn't for he received an award in Arizona. Yeah, I remember seeing that. I'm right. Blimey, that's the first. Somebody screenshot that and show me it later. Thanks, Kiwi. I don't know what I'm right about. This is a good test. We have to pay attention to confirmation bias. 100%. Said the other day in one of my streams that just because 10 people agree doesn't mean it's not confirmation bias. You know, the fact that somebody likes an idea doesn't make the idea correct. It just means it's a good idea, but doesn't make it, correct or right. So in any of this, any of it, whatever it is that you do in this, the author has given you the way to tell you that you are correct. Has to have done. So to just ignore all that information and go straight to your answer doesn't make any sense to me, which is exactly what people did in the Thrill of the Chase. Begin at where warm water's halt, and off they went, made a solve, said that was it, and wouldn't take anything else. But that's not what Forrest said. So if JCB is telling you something, and I suggest, Jenny Carl's the place to go, at the moment, it seems like most of the information is going there. Those are the words that came from John himself. So them and the videos that he does, those are the knowings that are worth knowing. So you know that because it's come from John. Everything else has come from everybody else, and that is just an interpretation of an interpretation of an interpretation, and possibly correct and possibly not correct. But in all of this, John says all you need is the book. The book will tell you where the 5 chests are. So you start with the book, and then you work out how to understand the book by listening to what John said. And the first part is obviously the plan, and then the book goes on. But there must be confirming information in the book that tells you the answer. So if you want to agree on anything, you have to agree on the answers that are in the book. And the only way you can do that is to get all of the information, chat about it, and see which piece of information has to be, there's no way it can't be, has to be correct. Because people are going to see links in different places for different reasons. But you need to get, I can't remember how far he said, but you need to get, really close. And that ain't going to happen. That ain't going to happen just by filling in a word search and saying you think it's in this place. Because you have to know where it is before you get out, before you leave. And, if Randy's saying it's that far, I don't think, John's saying it's that far. But if you're going to get to find a chest, and I would have to say that nobody's going to stumble on it because, you can't find it in snow. And if you can't find it in snow, then what's that supposed to mean? You can't find it an inch of snow, or you can't find it in 20 foot of snow. That statement is just a throwaway statement. Doesn't mean nothing. Doesn't mean nothing. Absolutely nothing. You can't find it in snow. What? If there's an inch of snow and it's not buried, then you're going to find it. If there's 20 foot in snow, then maybe you're not going to find it. But that statement is just a throwaway statement. It's like, no, it doesn't mean anything. Can't mean anything. It's not what we think. It is what JCB thinks. And that's the same as what Forrest did. Excuse me. It's not who you are, so you can make them think you are. You can't, no one can think my thoughts. And that's similar to what, is the same with JCB. So it has to tell you where it is. Has to tell you where it is. If you're working it out and trying to come up with an idea other than, getting the answer from the book, I don't think it's going to happen. In my opinion, you should already know how to solve the word search before you get to the word search. But at some point, we have enough knowledge that it isn't an opinion for confirmation bias. I guess that is science. Or divine reckoning, one or the other. Me personally, you don't have to listen to what I say. I don't know. I don't know anything. But if you haven't read the book, you're not going to find an answer, I don't think. Because there is no way to confirm it. None. You can get an answer. I tell a lie. If you read the word search, you can find the answer in the word search and confirm the answer by the cryptogram below. Or you can find the cryptogram below and confirm the answer in the word search. So that's a possibility. There's what is potentially confirmation. There is information in the cryptogram that will assist you with any information that you find in the word search. So either confirming the other. If you find the strong and stream post field and post field, whatever, over, under, in between, if you find that, or if you know that, and there's confirmation in the word search, then you're good. Or if you find the information in the word search and the strong and stream, post and field, blah, 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 over, under, in between, has confirmed that, because you can work out where that is talking about or what that is talking about, then I would say, yeah, that would be, one way of doing it. Just in that instance. But in the others, you would have to at least, know some of the information that you have to find. If you don't know the information that you have to find, how can you find it? You're just making up answers. Like if you, let's say you don't know it's California, you think it's California, but you don't know. Where in California are you going to go? If you're just going to go off the word search, I'm thinking, hang on, no, what's the point of the book? What's the point of all the book? If you're just going to find the answer in the word search without reading the book, has no collaboration, not collaboration, when two things join. Anyway, it doesn't have a connection with the book. So the rest of the book, if you're reading the word search and it doesn't have anything to do with the rest of the book, then how can it be correct? You know, you're either saying that John's a liar, you don't need anything in the book other than the word search, or you're, you know, superhuman and you found an answer that, you know, you weren't supposed to find. So at some point, I believe you're going to have to read the book to get the confirmation that all the brilliant souls in the word search are not all correct. There can only be 5 souls that are correct. In the word search, through the book, whatever, however you want to look at it, there can only be 5 correct souls because there's only 5 chests. So if you have 10, let's just say 10, but there are more. If you have 10 ways of solving the word search, guarantee 5 of them are wrong. If not all of them are wrong. So, you know, people used to say Forrest was leading them away from the treasure. But no, you're leading yourself away from the treasure because you're not listening to what was said. He said, read the book. Read the book. Here's the plan at the front. These are some of the things you need to do. And then the first chapter, or was that the first chapter? However it went. Here's the plan. These are the things you need to do. Then read the next bit, then read the next bit, then read the next bit, bearing in mind what it is that you have to do and bearing in mind what it is that you're supposed to be finding. That's it. Also taking into account that one of those chests needs information from the whole of the book. See you later, Larry. Thanks for popping in. You're a good man. Good luck, everybody. I made rules like sagebrush, pinion, etc. A list of rules. Yes. Forrest made rules. Talking of sage, I'm not sure, excuse me, what that wood is that Luli gave me, but I'm still, if she's still here, I'm still burning it and walking around the house and making my house smell nice. So thanks for that. I don't know if you can remember giving me a rock, but once you gave me them rocks. Yeah, so the rules, yes. I like that. If you are a specialist in something, you can make a guess and probably be right. You already have the knowledge. And that is what I was saying. Thanks, Jody. That's what I was saying about the people in the chase. You already have the knowledge. You know, you've been in the chase long enough and you already have the knowledge. So it's possible that you can make a guess in regard to, you know, what you think and be right. But using the chase as your crutch, I suppose, you know, something has to hold it up. Something has to, you know, be the base. There has to be a base. Base. How low can you go? 5 does not go with clues. Well, even that, I bet he's oh, my lucky number's 5. 5 is everywhere. Guess on which box. So even that, he says, John says, don't worry if you can't open the box. I've left the instructions. Well, where did you leave the instructions? In the box. You haven't left the instructions. You can't have done. That's stupid talk. Where have you left the instructions? On the ground next to the box. You know, tied in a little bow attached to the box. Where have you left the instructions? Out in, you know, the weather. It's like, no, what? No. No. How have you left the instructions with the box? If the instructions aren't in the box, how have you left the instructions with the box? That sounds like another throwaway statement to me. I've left the instructions with the box if you don't want to ruin the box because you can't solve the puzzle. I've left the instructions. Well, we are probably not going to see JCB in his sweet car driving in the dirt roads. Austin Martin, was it fancy? I'd rather say it. Yeah, I said Austin, but I know what you meant. It was fancy, or was it fancy? That's his James Bond bit, isn't it? Wonder if that's a clue. The name's Bond. James Bond. M sent from me. Willy nilly. Hello, Willie. How are you doing? That blue convertible is so nice. You're just rubbing it in now, all these posh, fancy cars. That's crazy. Wow, there's 25 people here. 5 likes already. What's going on? I've always said, though, that, like, I don't know, there's just something in, I think it's because, like, when I was young, we was lying, like, what would you call it? Okay, stream or a brook. Just lying on the bank of the brook, looking up the stars, hoping to see aliens or something, shooting stars, whatever. And then we heard this car come past and this almighty like racket. And what had happened is my sister and her husband, boyfriend at the time, I can't remember, had a Spitfire. I think it was a Spitfire. Car, not a plane. And this big Zephyr, I think it was, just ran over it and just took off. Just took off and rolled. I can't remember why I was saying that now. But yeah, that was because I don't like the 2-seater cars. Like, no, I ain't sitting in one of them. Yeah, this Ford Zephyr just sort of, I think it was a Ford Zephyr. It was only little. It just, run up the boot of it and over it and flipped. And it's like, what the? So no, I don't think I'm getting one of those small cars that don't seem to offer much protection, to be fair. I'm glad you are. Thank you very much. And I'm doing fine. I'm doing good. Somebody tell Ralph Lauren he can't take all those cars with him when he goes. Oh, the pot calling the kettle black there. Oh, you're going to ring him up and tell him? I'll take Ralph's Bugatti. Wow. There's a car and a half, isn't there? Yeah. Shall we all go and ask Ralph if we can have one of his cars? And then when he says no, you say, well, you can't take it with you. Okay. See what he says. I don't think he'd be impressed, but it's true. Just so what he said to Forrest that he... Are you looking forward to Christmas, Bill? Well, no, it won't be the same for you, will it? Because you've got operations and that, but I hope it all goes well. And I hope, you have your family around you and stuff. You did mean Ralph, didn't you, Jeep Girl? Jeep. I think you should call it Jody Jeep Girl, because I just call you by those first names and not the last name. Are you doing the soundboard thing with Cal Mario? What? I don't know what that means, and that would mean no. But you do have to guess what's coming up next. No, I haven't watched. I don't. Davey normally watches most of the YouTube content. Like if it's 12 seconds or less, I'll watch it. I watch some. I don't watch them all. You know, I say I'm not searching, but I have answers, and I don't, want to get diluted, as it were, by whatever else comes about. So I was talking to David the other day. To be fair, said when before 2020, when it was just a poem and that, life was a lot easier. But when you start looking on like all of the YouTube videos and on the internet and everything else, it all gets confusing, and it's sort of like takes away the focus. So I don't know what the soundboard thing is, but if it's fun, I might have a go. I'll probably be released on Christmas Day. Ooh, I don't know if that's good or bad. Mind you, it's probably better than hospital food, so you'll be all right. Yep, stay warm and heal fast. Well done, Jody. Good words. Hi, Bill. Did you see my message about VRM mortgage properties for sale? Hey, trusted. Not religious but spiritual is a saying. Rosicrucians use, yeah. So does Forrest. Yes, Tigger. VA does not do single wides. Oh, there you go. Who's that to? Are you going to Denver or the Springs? Is that Colorado Springs? Because there's Steamboat Springs, and a few others. That's near the old people's home type thing, isn't it? One of them. So yeah, I do know a bit of. Actually, that's where Craig is. Is it Craig, right? Well, there's a place called Craig. Place called Craig in Denver. I remember that now. Place called Craig, and then I'm sure it's an old people's home. So if this is Craig, the old people's home is over there. Steamboat Springs is up there. Colorado Springs, and I'm sure there's another one. Very good, trusted. Christmas with Nurses. Institute of Home Alone. That's one way of looking at it, Bill. Does it have to be VA? VA also does not loan for as is properties. They have to meet military standards. So, what's that one in? I always thought there was a Fort Collins in New Mexico, and there's a solve to go with it, which is, I don't think it's Union Pass. It might be. No, I don't think it is. Trying to think. So it's near Springer, and can't think of the other places. Springer. That's what happens when you don't keep up to date with all the stuff that you know. So I'm sure it's in New Mexico. Is it Fort Union? Is that what I'm mixing up? Union Pass and Fort Union. There's a place called Springer, and then I think it's just slightly up north of it is the fort. Can't remember now, but there's a solve for that place anyway. So I'm mixing them up. I think Fort Collins and Fort Union, or whatever it's called. I always thought that was in New Mexico. VA is 0 down. Bent's Fort. That doesn't ring a bell. Oh, I can't remember. Fort. I always thought it was Fort Collins. Something in my head said Fort Collins, but it's definitely Springer. It's definitely a sport. There's a Bent's. Oh, where's that called? Where's that place? After Colonel Bent, is it? Is that in Taos? I think it's in Taos. There's a place in Taos after somebody named Bent, but I can't think of Bent's Fort. Actually, there are two Bent's Forts. Springfield has the Crack Cave Rock Art. Does Homer go there? Mr. Simpson? I didn't realise there was a place called Springfield, to be fair. I thought they just made up that name and actually exists, which surprised me. And according to, well, I think they've already done that. So according to the people who wrote Simpson, they're going to put a dome over it, but I think they've done that over Disney, so I think that's what they were getting at. John Martin Reservoir is down there too. Very fun for boating and camping. They eat cats and dogs in Springfield. But that's because it's always raining there. It's always raining cats and dogs. It's the only way to get rid of them instead of stepping in the puddles. I wonder where that came from. Wow. A sheriff? Yeah, that'd be a job I wouldn't mind doing. I could just see me eating one of them. Is it hay, corn, whatever you call them? Sticking one of them in my mouth with a hat on. And those sheriff sunglasses. Yeah, I think I grew up watching those, like, sort of I can't remember what it's called now. Bo and Luke in the red and white car. Can't remember what it's called now. Dukes of Hazzard. Dukes of Hazzard, or the Cannonball Run films, or Bond with Roger Moore in it when he was being chased by that deputy. Like, most of my memories of the programs on telly are, sheriff type programs. Springfield, Ohio, migrants eating pets and geese. There's a film about it. Talking about our Springfield in southeast Colorado, not Utah, Ohio. Wow, see, that's the problem with your country. Like, you can say one town name, and like you can list 5 states where they're in. Springfield, Oregon is the home of The Simpsons. It is next to Eugene, Oregon. Ah, thanks for that, Bill. Where was that World's Fair? Ball. You know that big tower with the ball on the end, or the world on the end, or whatever it was. Where was that? Or where is that? Is it still a thing? Or is it run down? The fair, the World's Fair, Doodah Doodah, whatever it's called. I'm sure it's called the World's Fair. Can't remember now. Oregon, Big Ten game coming up. The Space Needle, yes, something like that. What was that all about? Is it still around? Or was it gone? I'm thinking of going to the US and seeing these places. The Space Needle. But it was called the World's Fair, though, wasn't it, or something? And I don't know what a Big Ten game is. Still there, I assume. Laugh out loud. Excuse me. What is a Big Ten game? What does that mean? Springfield, Missouri. The Show Me State got lucky first time there in 1984. I still know her. Yes, she showed me. I got lucky. Just got lucky. She showed Bill. College Football Conference. Oh no, CFCs. So that's what's polluting the atmosphere. The College Football Conference. You have to stop that. It's ruining the ozone, all these college football conferences. So I don't know how you people remember these things. Like Bill remembers the place, the year. No, he didn't remember the name, but I can't remember those things. Davey can remember stuff. I can't remember those sort of things. Like my life just sort of like blurred into like one life. That's it. There's no days, weeks, months, years. It's just I was young and then I was old and that was it. I can't remember nothing in between. Space Needle is in Seattle, where all drugs were made legal. Stay away from there, Mario. It's a disaster. Oh, right, okay. Thanks for that. Well, that was one big needle. Imagine getting jabbed with that one, eh? Just tap it around your arm and then throw yourself on that space needle. Aid conferences all got bigger and took in teams from farther west. Ah. Are you doing this? There's treasure inside, Mr. Trusted. There's treasure in them there heroes. So I think, people are narrowing it down. And, if X does, mark the spot, you would have to say that there is only one answer in that word search. So where are the other four answers? Because there's only one X. Unless it's a good map. And if you know the capital, you can work out where it is. A good map. What state do you think the olive jar is in? The olive jar or the pickle jar? I went to Space Needle for 1962 World's Fair, so it was the World's Fair. My sister bathed just before we got the elevator, so she didn't go up with us. That's fair enough. I won't go up. I think it's in the right state, the olive jar is. My friend Beverly needed help the other day, so I loaded up the truck and moved Beverly. Beverly needed help the other day, so I loaded up the truck and moved her. It's just the way my mind works. Are you saying you just moved Beverly and left all the stuff there? Like, there, off you go, Beverly. Or are you saying you use your truck and help Beverly move? I'm not going out searching for commercialised treasure hunts. I've talked a bit about it. Oh, right, okay. So if it's not commercialised, you'll do it. Olive jars were huge in the Bronze Age. Why don't you just have bronze jars then? I used my truck. I know, it's just British humour, I'm sorry. It's just how it sounds. My friend Beverly needed help the other day, so I loaded up the truck and moved Beverly. It's funny because it's true. That's because you're a kind-hearted person. Is anybody in here going to the conference? I was thinking I might go, not to the conference because it's loads of money now, but I might, hang around outside and see if I can meet anybody. Or like do, I don't know what his name is. Wipe away, wipe away the dirt on the window and peek inside. And mind you, they're up the top, aren't they? So that wouldn't work, would it? Got to go up a flight of steps to do that. Husband and I are going to drive. Oh, like cars. Who's going to take you home tonight? That's quite a way, isn't it? If you're in Colorado's over here, Arizona's down there, isn't it? Is that right? Hang on. Yeah, Arizona's left of New Mexico, isn't it? Somewhere down there. Where are the Dead Sea Scrolls found in olive jars? I thought they were found in like clay doodle. Not, is it clay? Terracotta. I don't know though. I'm not that. I have driven there from Denver quite a few times. Wow, that's a fair jaunt. That is. Well, I suppose it's cheaper than getting a plane, but it still can't be cheap, using all that gas. Olive jars were clay. There you go. There you go then. Get all that. It's supposed to be good for your olive oil, is like 30-gallon olive jars. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. Yes, and doves. So if you've seen any white feathers around, I get the feeling that whoever the solver is expecting to see white feathers. Like, get some signs, like hermit signs and stuff like that. What else? I'm trying to think what it says on the front of the title page. Spiritual, 2 genealogies, Saint Germain. Can't think. My AI co-pilot says yes. They were found in olive jars with tight-fitting lids. There you go then. There is an olive tree at the Acropolis, descended from the first olive tree Athena planted there. Yes. She may be important to the chase, along with all the other gods that she was. Maybe Minerva and those people. Yes, you were over there, weren't you, in Greece? Had some good things to say while you were out there. If I was going to search for Fenn chest, I would start at Mineral Creek staging area, Ironton, Colorado. Ooh, for someone who is not involved, that's a pretty good start. Her hand offering the olive branch. Well, she could use a bow as well, and I think maybe a wolf and the moon. And did she have the turtle as well? Can't remember who had the turtle. Who had the turtle, Bill? Apollo. Did anybody find out about Minerva in the cheers? There were two. What are they called? Can't remember. So like the scrapbooks and then all these other things. If you are brave and in the vignette. The vignette. Did anybody read Minerva in the vignette? Which is almost a vineyard, but not quite. We were talking earlier about that it could be, minerals or gold related, like the places that JCB would have hid stuff. I just think, I don't know. Oh, no, I just think the what again? The what again? The what again? The what again? I don't know. I don't know the what again. What is the what again? The what? Do what? Do what? You have to remind me what I was saying. I don't know what the what again means. The what again? Forrest illustrated the hand of offering in several drawings, and in George Washington portraits, same hand gesture Forrest presented to me while doffing his hat in 2017, just before our tea. Athena had an owl, an olive tree, a snake, a shield, a chariot, and a helmet and armor. Had to take pictures with Mildew and Panama Jack. Athena had an owl, an olive tree, a snake, a shield, a chariot, and a helmet. But who else was she supposed to be? So I think Athena was attributed to doing a few more things, being wise and blah, 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 blah. So if you go into it, so you have the Greek goddesses and the Roman goddesses, and basically they're the same person, with different names and slightly different qualities. So Athena, Diana, is Athena Minerva, Athena Diana. I remember Athena Diana. Another one. Like So it's like Jupiter and Zeus. You know, they're supposed to be the same. Not supposed to be the same. They could be the same person. Just one talked about in Greece, one talked about in Rome. He's seen my Athena video I posted. Who has? I haven't. I'm just talking about Athena that's here. Who had the bow? I thought Athena was the wood, like in the woods. So it's like there was Hera and Ops and those sort of things that were like the moon and stuff. Don't know. Must be wrong. Wisdom, War and Crafts on one of the 12 Olympians. Yes. Artemis had the bow. There you go. Artemis. No. Yeah. No. Artemis had the bow. It did have the bow, but there was also a female. The wise one. So, well, that was her. Wise. And there was someone who could do. Can't believe I can't remember. Wore a size 6 toga and Athena wore a size 12. Toga. Yeah, Artemis definitely had the bow, but I was thinking of a woman. So Ariadne was the spider, or something like that. The arachnid, so it's something like that. I hired Valerie Gates to do the art for my CD repair kit packaging. Valerie Gates donated the bronze walls where Forrest Fenn parks his car at the Denver Museum of Nature related to the... that's why he's tired. Artemis is female. She is the Greek version of Athena. That's what I was just saying. There is a Greek version and an Italian or Roman version of these different people. Hey, Jeff and Queen, how are we doing? I was doing paddleboard. Woohoo! Did you get on okay? Yeah, so it's getting confusing with all these people. Gods, supposedly. Who was the other one? Athena, Minerva. Ops, Hera. That's another one I'm missing. Venus. I'm missing Venus. Venus, goddess of love that you are. That's who I'm missing. I'm missing Venus. So, another, clue, not clue, another solve possibly was you get the planet solve, and then you have the gods solve. So, Forrest being Jupiter, you've got Saturn, so Uranus, Neptune, Skippy the water, Donny, Pluto underground, Mom and Dad, Saturn, Ops, I think, Granddad, Uranus, whatever, all the way to Chaos. I think the Romans just took over the Greek gods and put the spin on them. Yes, but and that's how religion gets changed, though, isn't it? Like, you start one religion and then somebody says, no. This is how it is, and then they change it all. Are they the hands of God or the hands of time? No, I'm not sure what we're talking about either. I was talking about the vignettes and the Greek Minerva, not Greek, goddess Minerva. And then we went off down a rabbit hole. I did 3 videos about Amphitrite, there's a name, yesterday. Basically, the Athena of the sea. Poseidon, yes, there was Poseidon who's Neptune. See, this is where it gets confusing. So, like, I see Poseidon as Neptune, which means the wife's name is different. And it gets Poseidon's wife. See the bikini videos I posted. I don't think there weren't any bikinis in them days. The sun does not shine on Uranus. No, it doesn't shine. The sun ain't gonna shine anymore. Minerva is Candy's favourite. Yes, Minerva's good. Minerva's right. You know, Minerva's probably correct. The Yacht Club of Greece is a fan of my Greek art. Ooh, cool. I think we're all fans of your art. I think Medici's a good shout as well from Indy. I think there's some merit there. Watch my Amphitrite video, learn about her and Poseidon. Wonder why they did that though. Like, if the Greeks had the gods first, you'd think you'd get your own gods, or you'd call them the same name, wouldn't you? There is a Zoe's ice cream parlor in Athens, Greece. Ooh. Was she there? Is it the sun that's shine on TV? Can't remember how that goes. Can't even remember. So if there's no difference in that statement, I'm not religious, but I'm the most spiritual person. Why was it said? And if happiness is the pot, then what is joy? Like, it's the same thing. But if both of them are involved in religion, basically, manna, the sweetest of the sweet, the best that you can get, happiness, joy, from the divine, then is there a link in what's happening here? Omegas came from Greece. Athena was an alpha. Oh, Skippy was turning alpha though. So was Skippy turning a god, which could give you the god soul? Like, if he was turning alpha, was he Neptune because of the water? Was Forrest Jupiter? Was Peggy Venus? Was Zoe Minerva? Was Kelly Athena? Or however that went. I can't remember how it was now. Apollo. Now. Ooh. What are we talking about there? Double alphas. I guess Minerva was Athena. Yeah, I guess. Athena, Apollo, A8. So, where's the link there that you have? Artemis and Apollo. How does that ring true in, the Thrill of the Chase? They could have another soul. To have 2 endings, you need 2 beginnings. You end up where you started. Yes, indeed. Tigger, Longhorns, or Aggies. Apollo was a dolphin. Well, so was Skippy. Skippy. On which one? The Artemis and the Apollo? Well, both of them went to the moon in peace. The oracle is at the temple of Apollo. Well, I'm a tiger fan. That's neat, that's neat, that's neat, that's neat. I really love your tiger fan. Will my answer offend? I don't know. Unless you say, they're great. Isn't that what the tiger says? Ah, you talk about longhorns. Not me. The Temple of Apollo. Well, then you get down to the, the trilogy or the triad or the whatever. Threes. 333, 33, 33, 33. Who was 33? Ooh. I watched that game. Arch. Temple Owls. Forrest talked about, did he talk about Pompeii? I think he did. What's so special about that? Why Capitol Hill? What is the links? Why the links and chains that Forrest talked about? How does any of it make any sense? He only took a few snaps. That's because he was a magic dragon. Snap the magic dragon who lived by the sea. The kid can run, laugh out loud. Plato measured in stadia, which was the length of a stadium. Stadium. The stadium at Delphi is 650 feet. A stadia is 650 feet. There you go. Happy days. I don't think the Colosseum is. He takes after Archie. LOL. Surveyor language. Oh, not an architect, a surveyor. Surveyor. The kid can run. Math, no chance. The plains of Atlantis are 10,000 stadia across. Wow, that's a lot of stadia. So I'd say that was a lot. 650 feet. Well, looking at that, you'd have to say times 10 was 6,500, which leaves you 3,000. No, 650. Yeah, times 10 is 6,500. So that's 10 stadium, which leaves you 3,500 stadium, which is 3.5, which is what? Hang on. 10 is 6,000 and 3.5. About 13.5 in there, isn't there? Going on 14. 14 in there. 14 to 1. 12,000 miles? No way, Jose. 6.5 million feet. Man, how many people's that? 3.25. That's how many. If it's 6.5 million feet, there must be 3.25 people. No, 3.25 million people. 1,200 miles. Wow, and that's all underwater now. Or under the bridge. That's water under the bridge. 10,000 times 6. What? Oh, I thought you were saying that was the answer, 5,280. What have you got 5,280 for? Where does that come from? Don't know where that's from. So 10,000 times 650. Times 650. No, you got 650 feet into 10,000. Or are you doing the 10,000 stadia? You're doing the 10,000 stadia. Tigger, that's 500 mountains high. Ain't no valley low enough, ain't no mountain high enough. Apart from that one, that's high. Ain't no river wide enough. Don't make the alligator mad till he crossed the river. Where did Richard go? I didn't see what he wrote. He came in, wrote something, retracted it, and then disappeared. Oh. The Great Plains are 1,200 miles across. Yeah, that's big. That's big. And they were supposed to be very advanced. I don't know if they were more advanced than we are, or they might have been advanced in a different way, but very advanced. Which makes us worry for, our race. If, this highly civilized race of people just disappeared. And, what's weird is nobody sort of like, which is hard to believe, but nobody sort of says, God, I was lucky. I lived in Atlantis, but, I went for a holiday at such a place. And now it's gone under the sea. So I'm a really lucky person. So, I'm a, survivor of Atlantis. And if it weren't for the fact that, I went away on holiday, I'd have been dead like the rest of them. The answer is 1,230.6 miles. Ooh, we're getting pedantic. Pedantic. You are 30.6 miles out, Mr. Bill, according to Tigger. It's still a big place. Very big place. 1,200. Blimey, that's that's on a par with my country. And a bit more, I suppose. That's big. No. It's only as big as like, United Kingdom, not Great Britain. No, which is which? No, the United Kingdom includes Ireland. Great Britain, oh, I don't know. So from England to Scotland, sort of thing, which is, tiny compared to the USA. Yeah, it's not as big as Australia or anything. But if, you're looking at least, probably 1 million people, it can't be good. Tigger, have you been looking through the book? Atlantis are the large rectangular high mountain valleys surrounded by high mountains covered in crystals. The San Luis Valley of Colorado. The US is 2,892 miles wide. That is until California falls off. Oh dear. Yeah, if you're going to go and get the chest, you better go soon then, don't you? Like if the chest is in California, well, hide it there if California's going to drop off. Apparently there's going to be, some upheaval and, America's going to lose, quite a lot of land to water. And so is, Great Britain. I'm going to try and find the highest place and, go there just in case. Oh, not lately. I'm looking at the FF box. That means she's got it on the table. There it is. And she's looking at it. Goodbye, California. Nice knowing you. Oh, poor Hotel California. It's already perforated, Tigger. Oh, the tea bags. San Luis Valley of Colorado has the St. John, San Juan Mountains on the west and the Sangre de Cristo, Blood of Christ Mountains on the east. Yeah, there's another solve. And they go into New Mexico. Jean de Baptiste. Yeah, but if you're doing that, that means Egypt is in America. Jean de Baptiste. That means Cleopatra could be found in America. Or was she? Hmm. Hmm. Probably found in Arizona. Nothing like that area, so amazing. Into Mineral Creek staging area, Arlington, Colorado. A lot of connections to that area. Have you, Tigger? Have you? Have you looked? I think the teeth. Was it called the teeth? At the. Oh, I keep forgetting that name. Why do I keep forgetting that name? The Philmont. The Philmont Ranch. That's a nice area there. I don't know why I keep forgetting that name, Philmont. There's never been a time in all the years that I've done the Thrill of the Chase, I've just gone, the Philmont Ranch. I've always had to think, Pinkerton? No. Nope. Ooh, stick man with sword, touche, carved on back of rock at Old Spanish Trail and US Highway 160. Ooh, that's telling you where to go. I used to Jeep there a lot, like 20 years ago. Yeah, Philmont is a nice area. I really, I think it's called the Teeth. Something like that around there anyway. Can't remember. Obviously, then you work your way to cinema, whatever it's called, Cimarron. Then you work your way to Angel Fire and don't know, Cold Water Peak, whatever it's called, Agua Fria Peak. Brown Canyon or Moran, or whatever it's called, Moran Canyon there. And that dam, what's that dam called? What was that dam? Bird's Nest, Eagle's Nest. God, I'm trying to remember all these places. It's crazy. And then going up towards Red River. That river that Forrest said, no, that's too far. Can't remember that now. That's gone up my head. It's too far. It's not that far. Don't know. People died on that river. I can't remember what it's called. Ah, the UU Bar Ranch. Yeah. Now there's a solve if ever there was one. 2 U's. Yeah, I think When I was doing those souls around that area, I think I sent Forrest an email about it. The shoes, they used to throw the shoes on the top. It's like, what? We see that now and again here. People throw their, I don't know why, or somebody throws the trainers on the telegraph poles, or the wires. Got like a pair of trainers on top of these telegraph poles. Yeah, that was another possible solve, because it was the double omega, the UU, and the UU in the poem. Then you have the Hemingway solve in Wyoming, where he stayed in the picture in that place, and the place that he fished. Who else went there? Somebody else went there. I can't remember who it was. God, it's amazing what comes back to you. Saw teeth on 20-foot saw with 24-foot lumberjack. The teeth of the Rockies, wooden lumberjack inside the lobby like Moses in South Fork. South Fork like Santa Fe. There you go. Whatever that meant. Whatever that meant. Too much information. Couldn't get it all. Well, it is 10-3 here. 22. 2 little ducks and 6. That's very divine, that is. 22. So you get like the twin flames in tarot reading. Actually, no Ben. No Ashley. So you get like the twin flames in tarot reading, and we have the 23. That ruined it. But that's 11, so that'll do. Because you used to get the 11-11s, or the 1-1-1, or the 11-11, or the 2-2. So 2-2s could be 11-11. So it could be 1-1-1-1. If you have the 2 Roman numerals. So you could have 1-1-1-1. So 2-2 is like, the angel number 1-1-1-1. Lumberjack. I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. I sleep all night and I work all day. Lumberjack has double-bladed axe. It relates to final drawing. Bill Gorman is pretty good with an axe. FF. I talked with one of the owners of Casa to allow searchers to search on the property. He allowed me, but that's as far as it went. Oh. Well, good luck with that. Casa. House. The house of house. Bingo. Forrest talked about bingo, lotteries, and curries, and chilies, and weird stuff. So I thank everybody for popping in. News, maybe, could be shortly before Christmas. And a happy new year, I suppose. And all being good. This is what Forrest told Bill Sullivan about Be It. Oh, that'd be better if it was sacred, Bill. Sacred is better than scared. It scared Bill. You, Bill, or another Bill. Adobe Casa is a home of brown. Yes, I knowed it. I knowed it. That's why I said the house of the house. Yes. I think, can't remember his name. It's on Street Show. He did a home of brown, the Adobe Brown thing. Said it was under the bridge. And I thought, it's in a place people would not normally go. And it's like, you talk about a tourist attraction. There's millions of people there. Bill Sullivan was scared. Oh. Yes, I prefer if he said he was sacred. Same letters, different word. I'm trying to think of another word. But I can't. Nope. It's not happening now. Nope, can't get a word. Wow, my BP has been really low lately. Today. I didn't say lately. Is that... No, that's not good. Having low BP. You have to get up and run around. Run around now. Have you had like too much pineapple and stuff? Pineapple juice or those sort of things? They tend to lower the blood pressure. My doctor says it is. My doctor says it is. Oh, low. My doctor says it is low. Mary asked Forrest, is Bill Gorman the finder? He answered, I didn't expect Trump to win either. FF was 2019. Forrest died before 2020 election. British Petroleum. Well, Trump, may have a say yet in, how the chase turns out. Maybe he was saying, that you're not the solver, Bill. I didn't expect Trump to win, and he did. Maybe he's talking about the future when he didn't. It's all written in the poem. So he knew Trump wasn't going to win in 2020. I didn't expect Trump to win either. I was working outside going up and down on a ladder. I just throw these pills away and do that every day. Self-help. Last chapter is The Price of Freedom. We had to have a revolution for Trump to abolish the IRS, so there is no tax issue. A revolution? I don't think he had a revolution. I think he just had people come to their senses. I'm still shocked that they just don't know that media could say and do what they did and nobody do anything. It's so beyond me. Like, how do you not get done for libel and stuff when you're calling people Hitler and saying he's a fascist and a dictator and he's a threat to democracy and stuff like that? It's like, what the heck are you doing? Like, you could have ruined his whole business, his whole life, his whole political career and everything. And people just like, yeah, it's politics. So, no, stop it. Electing Trump was a revolution. It was needed. We had no taxes until FDR. Yes. Wasn't he a Democrat? I think that it started with him when it was like, we'll have all the black votes. And they'll vote Democrat, from now till forever. But it's all going the right way now, I hope. I think there's a divine plan at play, and we're all playing a part in that. And when everything's known, we'll all be shocked. Yes, he was a Democrat, giving away free shit. But he is a crooked fascist, just like his dad that trained him. Who, Donald Trump? I don't think he's a fascist. That if there's somebody that's furthest from being a fascist, it's Donald Trump. My birthday, Jan 20th. Oh boy. My birthday, Jan 28th. Oh girl. I'm Aquarius. We're coming to some good stuff, Mrs. Jody. We're coming into some good stuff. It's our time. Yep. 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 It's our time. Always watch the presidents get inaugurated. Yes. What happens on the 5th or 6th of Jan? My birthday the same as yours. Woohoo, Tigger. We rule. We rule. What happens on the 5th of Jan? Something happens on the 5th of Jan with your presidents, doesn't it? Or the 6th of Jan. The 250th anniversary of the start of the American Revolution below the home of Captain David Brown is in 4 months. We are restoring our Constitution to celebrate. Yeah, I think it went crazy when I just don't know. You have a Constitution, a Declaration of Independence, and none of your politicians seem to bother about it. That's just so crazy, that is. Well, no, I lie. I say none. There are people like Ted Cruz and I keep forgetting his name. What's his name? Well, there's that Kennedy senator. He's good, but it's Ted Cruz and can't remember his name. He was on the news just the other day. Tall, firmly built, but not fat. Short hair. Davey will know. He'll tell you, but no, not him. He's I can't think of his name. Always sits next to Ted Cruz. Freedom is our prize indeed. Absolutely. I think I'm older though. I don't know about that. I'm old, Tigger. I'm old. Old. I'm melting. Then there is January 17, when the solver was born. Which solver? The solver to the TTI? Matt Gates. Well, I'd go so far as to say January 28th was when the solver was born. But what do I know? What's his name? I think it begins with R. Ted Cruz. And the bloke that sits next to him is... I don't know. Can't think. I hit my SSA retirement age the 1st of this month. I don't know what age that is. Is that 65? I'm not retirement age yet. I am retired, but not retirement age. In the House of Congress or the Senate? House of Congress, I think it is. So he's a Republican. He sits on the right-hand side of Ted Cruz. Rap man. What's his name? Quite tall. In the Senate. 66 plus. Wow, you're 66. Oh, you're older than me. Woohoo. Somebody older than me. Hooray. They're the only three really. Well, no, there's another bloke, but I can't remember his name. Bald head, quite thin. He's quite good. But most of those, I suppose, Mr. Paul bloke, whatever his name is, he's okay. And the Speaker of the House, Johnson, if that's his name, he's okay. But other than that, it's like they don't do much. Preston is 2 years older than me. Kerry, is that goober still around? Yeah, he's still around. He's an idiot. He gets money for nothing. It's Rand Paul, isn't it? He's a politician. I don't want to get mixed up with RuPaul. Who is that bloke? H, something with H. Hawley. Sure, it's Hawley. Senator Hawley. Don't know. Crap. Anyway, he's pretty good. Other than that, but hopefully they'll get rid of all these crazy infiltrators, these nasty people that are just so. Hopefully they get rid of that whatever name is Cortez. That whatever name is, he wears that scarf. She's unreal. She is. Like they're all traitors. It's like I don't get it. How they can get in there in the first place. Paul Rand. Ross Hawley, I think it is, something like that. Can't remember what his name is. There is a seating chart online. I think it's Hawley, Ross Hawley, something like that. It's quite tall, thin-ish. Kerry, wife, bought him a boat named Scaramouche, will he do the first dando for the boat tonight? Named very, very frightening. Swaggering liar. Oh, that's about right. That's probably why she bought him it, and then probably divorced him later. I will not let you go. Yeah, they're all bad people. Like I look at them and I just think, what is wrong with you? How is anything that you are saying like fair or moral or understandable? It just isn't. I saw that Cortez the other day trying to catch. Who was she trying to catch out? Homan, that Tom, the new border bloke, trying to catch him out. And then she gave up. I think she got to the point where he said, we're not separating families. If they want to stick together, they can go with them. Something like that. He says, we're not separating families. Something like that. She was really trying to grill him, and he was going, no, I said this. He said, is your signature on this? He said, yeah. Well, what about this, and this? He said, no, I never said that I wrote it. I said I signed it. And then she was going on about some other stuff. And he was basically just ripping her apart. And then she thought she nailed him. And he went, no, if they want to stay together, they can go with them. I'm not ripping families apart. He's basically saying, look, if the police pulled me over and I was done for drunk and disorderly and my child was in the car, the police would separate me from my kid because I'm a criminal. And he said, that's no different. They're criminals. And the police need to do what they need to do. And he says, I'm not separating anybody from anybody. If, they want to go with them, they can go with them. Don't have to stay at home. Josh Hawley, that's it. Josh Hawley. Sits way behind Ted Cruz. I've always seen him sitting to the right of Ted Cruz. They must just like each other then, sitting in the wrong place. But that's him, Josh Hawley. It's a rogue government of despots. Well, and that's just it. These people are saying, it's a rogue government. We need to change it. So they're not rogue, they're actually trying to change it and saying, like they say things like, listen, if you own stocks, you can't be in the house. You can't be working here. Or you have to get rid of your stocks because what you're doing is cheating. You've got inside trading. You're finding that information before the public and then you're making money on it. So we can't have that. That's what Josh Hawley was saying to those people. And it's like, well done, old chap. I say, rather good. Tell these nasty people that they shouldn't be making money while they're supposed to be working for the people. They're getting paid. That's it. Stop cheating and making money on stocks and bonds because you've got some insider trading on what's happening. I like Tom Homan. He will do a great job. Yes, he will. Maybe they're on the same committee. Yeah, probably. But normally when I see him, I mean, I don't know where it is, whether it's the Senate or the Congress or whatever it is that they do, but he normally sits to the right of him, and Kennedy sits somewhere else, and then those other people sit somewhere else, but they're normally together. That's illegal. Of course it's illegal. That's what they're saying. But nobody cares because they were all like, Democrat had the power. They didn't care. Ask Martha Stewart. That reminds me of Martha's Vineyard, where all the rich people are. It's like, you've only got to see how much money they've got to know that they are just, making money from places they shouldn't. That flipping Obama and that. I mean, how he survives as president in his second term. I know he conned everybody in the first term, but in the second term, he run that country down as though it was bloody. Like, if you run your own house like that, you'd be kicked out. Trump is as corrupt as any other president has been. Have you been seeing his appointments? I've seen most of his appointments. I've seen the ones that haven't made it because, people don't want them in. But, Tulsi Gabbard, yep. RFK Jr., yep. Elon Musk, yep. Vivek Shumwar, what his name, yep. I don't see much wrong with the main characters. Most of the other people I probably don't know, but most of those people he's put in his cabinet have been lifelong Democrats. So I don't know. I think he's trying to do the best for the country. Jan 6 ethics probe. Ooh. Oh, that was unreal. That pardon. That was like, oh, it's a good job I'm not over there. I'd have probably gone over and strangled the bloke. It's like, what are you doing? How dare you? Like, what a slap in the face to everyone. I'm just going to pardon my son. It doesn't matter that he's guilty. What? Well, I need to pardon him because, I'm involved in it as well. I'm the big guy. What's he going to do? Pardon his brother and everybody else next? That's crazy. You think he'd at least pardon, like, the January 6 people first, just to, like, ease in. Like, I'm going to pardon the January 6 people. And then, I'll pardon my own son, even though he's guilty as heck, and so am I. And, just because I'm incompetent doesn't mean I'm not guilty. But you're not incompetent enough to just, pardon your own son. Like, I'm sorry, but even if I was president and it was my son, and my son was guilty, sorry, I wouldn't have the face to do it. I might, ask somebody to set up a petition, free Hunter Biden, get somebody to sign a petition of, millions of people, and then go, well, the will of the people, I might do something like that, but I wouldn't just come straight out and go, well, he's my son, but you know what? No matter that he's guilty, that, we tried to frame Donald Trump about Russia, and he's worse than anything that we tried to frame Donald Trump with. That don't matter. I'm just going to pardon him. But, he's a fool. He's not. All he's done is he's made it worse for him now because he's pardoned him, which means now the Republicans can go after him. He doesn't have the Fifth Amendment and all that stuff to cover him. So he might be worse off. What he should have done was sort of commuted it a bit. you know. But I think he was foolish to pardon him. Like, well, no, it was wrong to pardon him. But the fact that he pardoned him has made it worse for Hunter Biden. And it's also probably made it worse for him because now Hunter Biden has to stand trial if Republicans, go down that route. And if he stands trial, then he'll have to give evidence against his dad and his, uncle and stuff like that. So, oh, that's crazy, 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 crazy. Martha Stewart's get prisoner and Soros money manager gets Secretary of Treasury position. Yes, David, they will be taken by the military on January 20th, I predict. Nice. Some are saying that the night he might pardon Fauci, even though he has not been charged. Well, some of it isn't like criminal, enough to need a pardon, but some of it is. So there's loads of people that could be flipping done. And they might, go after him in a civil matter like they tried Donald Trump. Like all the fake stuff they tried to get him with, they couldn't. So they went after him in a civil case with more fake stuff that, they still didn't work with. He has a pardon for events that have not even taken place. It's BS. Yes, it is. Remember, when he pardons Fauci, it doesn't pardon Fauci in the UK. He shouldn't be flipping pardoned anyway. Elon Musk, SpaceX gets paid by NASA. How's that for money laundering? Used to. Didn't they take it off him because he became a Republican? They both need to be jailed, followed by all the corruption abusers. The military has not brought treason charges. Biden will pardon himself by Hemingway. Oh dear. He can't pardon people for their crimes in other countries. No. So I don't think that Trump will go after Hunter Biden. I don't think that'll be the case. But, that's not to say that other people can't go after him. But if it's a civil matter, then, anybody would probably end up, going after him if they can afford to go after him. But once he goes into court because he's been pardoned, he's screwed. And so's his family. They're all screwed. He's got to give evidence. He can't plead the fifth because he's not protected. He's screwed. So Biden should have, not pardoned him, should have commuted the sentence and, done all those things right, pardoned the people in January the 6th, eased the situation. And he could probably still do that. People probably talking to his ear now saying, listen, you need to pardon the rioters on the January the 6th. And they weren't even rioters. Bullshit. It's bullshit. That was staged by the Democrats. Just unreal. It's just staged by the Democrats. And these people walked in there, the only ones that were rioting are the flipping Antifa, BLM idiots that pretended to be Republicans. Because Nancy Pelosi decided to pay everybody and said, no, we don't want the National Guard because we've got some stuff going on and we don't want the National Guard there stopping it. Idiots. Let an AI figure out who is guilty. Anybody that has come into any sort of money with not doing any job looks pretty guilty to me. Like Hunter Biden gets paid millions and he's got no skill. Like, why are you getting paid millions, Hunter? Is it because of your, super brain ability that you've been able to work out how they should run their country? No. Is it because you built something for them? No. Is it because you ran a program or something for them? No. Is it because your dad's the president and you gave out information? Well, could be. Is it because your dad threatened these people with the weight of the United States? Could be. Oh, that's how they get things done. My dad is president of the United States, and therefore, if you don't do what it is we ask, he's not going to give you this, this, and this. Okay, then, we'll do that. Little sister, don't you? He got his sister-in-law hooked on crack after his brother died. Got 6 little cuddly fur monsters singing here. What? Oh, the puppies. The puppies. It's all political theatre. Yes, and we all play a part. Facebook had deemed puppy pictures harmful. What? What? Apparently, the pardon is not worth the paper it is written on. Legal technicalities. He's going to the can with no crack. Ooh. Did you hear about the artwork that he gave his landlord? No. I'm part Indian. The part in my pants. What, you mean the poop? The part in my pants. What does that mean? I know what it means. I'm only joking. Anyway, I said I was going, so I'm definitely going. It is 2:56. 2:56? No, it's 3:19. What's going on? Oh, I've been here for nearly 3 hours. And it's 3:20 in a minute. Is that the little pokey tribe? Hello, Frank. How the dickens are you? You painted it with poo. Even the president has a part. The little pokey tribe. The Tate banana art was money laundering. Most of it's money laundering. Sending money to Ukraine is money laundering. It's all bull. It's all rubbish. It's like it. If it wasn't so, it'd be funny. Like, what? How could you think you would get away with all this stuff? And nobody noticed that you're, doing all these shady things. It's like after Hurricane Helene. It's like you're not helping people because they're Trump supporters, or you're not helping people full stop because you've got no money to help them. And you're offering people $750 if they're black or, Puerto Rican or whatever, or lesbian or, LGBTQ, whatever it is. But you're not going to offer a heterosexual Christian white person anything. It's just crazy. And then she talks about equity. Equity just means anybody that we think will vote for us, we'll save. But anybody we think will vote for Donald Trump, stuff you. That's crazy. Let me be frank. How can the president send anyone money when he doesn't have the power of the purse? Well, how can he do half the things that he does when he doesn't have the power of his mind? That's just crazy. Hey, Mario, where are you going? To pick up a bag for Donald from Buckingham Palace. I'm not too keen with our king, to be fair. So, and definitely not our queen. And somebody, where did I hear it? On radio or the TV or whatever. They were talking about the queen. I'm like, what are you talking about the queen for? She's dead. And I just can't get my head around that. Not Kamala, but Camilla is our queen. It's like, it doesn't sink in. Like, I have no attachment to her whatsoever. None. And neither he nor her will be forgiven as far as Princess Diana goes. Ever. In my mind, in my life, they will never be forgiven. Tigger Joe send the money to Ukraine and they send it to Hunter. Trusted the Republic. Died November 20, 1922. November 22, 1963. The year I was born. Yeah, some people say, oh, save our democracy, save our democracy. Save our republic, save our republic. You're a bloody republic with some democratic tendencies. Actually, there is purse powers built into legislation like emergency preparedness. Frank, the 250th anniversary of the State of America rose below. The head capital rose brown is in 4 months. We are restoring our constitution. Yeah, I think it's a bit higher than that, Bill. I think whilst you're restoring the constitution, you're returning to God, aren't you? That's what this is, or should be all about, because it's God's country. In God we trust on all your, monetary denominations, whatever it's called. It's like, it seems most of the country's forgotten that your country was built on faith. And I say it seems like most of the country's forgotten it. It's not that you've forgotten it, it's that you've had so many illegal immigrants in there that they don't know it. They don't care about it, they don't know it, they're not interested. And that's the difference between the country that you were and the country you are now. You've been infiltrated with people who don't believe in the same things that United States of America citizens believe in. Now, I know there are some people that don't believe in it, but the majority of people did believe in it, and that's why you became great. And that's how you become great again, by courting God's favor. It's that simple. So, yes, the Constitution, Declaration of Independence, 100%. But it was in God that you put your trust. Well, no, not you. It was in God that your forefathers put their trust. It was their belief, their way of setting up that country to succeed. And then as soon as you took God out of the equation, you got what you got. Bill, Trump will need to declare martial law to root out all the corruption. The Biden family crimes is going down. Forrest was Q. The Clinton crime syndicate will go down too. They'll all go down. He had Q clearance to handle nukes. The Biden crime family isn't in charge. They are just a beneficiary. Yeah, so, you got people like BlackRock, and, it goes all the way through to, all these rich people. Trump is Moses. Oh, he's got a staff. He was moved from public eye because he was incompetent. Then he makes a presidential pardon. You can't have it both ways. Anyway, you would not pardon someone if they'd done no wrong, would you? He's the new savior. The criminal roots run deeper than we know. Politicians are just puppets. China is yes, 100% China's pulling the strings. But China's pulling the strings based on the elite that have all the money. I don't think China were talking to, obviously they were dealing with Hunter Biden and that, but the top people were, sorting the money out, sorting the needs of the Chinese, but it should all go back to normal soon. I remember rejoicing that the Clintons were going down the first time Trump got into office. As it turned out, Trump lied and many other things. So yes, he will do. I don't factually trust him. I don't see anything that he lied about. He did pretty much everything that he said he would do, and in some cases exceeded what he said he would do. So my interpretation of what he said and yours must be totally different, because I don't see anything that he lied about. Got to see the Bill Clinton Diddy video. China is not Russia's friend. Well, it's all going to change now. So China and Russia will change. The state in the Middle East will change. Korea will change. You know, they'll have a friend in Donald Trump now. China wants everyone's resources. But I think once America starts drilling again and has their own resources, then there's less money coming into those other places. Less money going into Russia, less money going into China, less money going into the Middle East. No more Hamas and all those people. You know, they won't afford to run as it was before. I mean, it'll take a while before that happens, but they know what's coming. Yeah, he sent it to the Congo and that, didn't he? It's like, but it's just send it anywhere. You know, to me, it seems like it's no coincidence that money gets sent to the Congo and then you have an influx of people from Congo. You know what I mean? So hang on, what? You know, money goes to Venezuela. Oh, look, we just got a whole load of people from Venezuela. What? So it doesn't take a rocket scientist to work out what's going on. Hey, Moisturize. Forrest taught Larry Fink about hiding money in art. Ooh, I don't like Larry Fink. I don't trust that man. I don't trust him. Mind you can't blame Forrest for teaching money. China has to remember the bigger dick theory. They can't. The Congo's resources are being taken by other countries. Well, in the good old days, they'd say that was slavery because that's what they gave us originally. They gave us their own people. You know what I mean? Black people were the first slave traders. They traded in their own and then sold them to white people. And then the white people were the first people to ban it. And the black people were the last people to ban it themselves. If it has been banned everywhere, I'm not sure if it has been banned everywhere. But it's like, well, you're racist, you're racist, you're racist. It's like, well, your own people must be racist then to keep having slaves. We want, what's it called? I can't remember now. I can't remember all these words. Why can't I remember anything? We want some reinstation. Reparation. We want reparation. We want reparation. It's like, listen, there are people in your country that are black that had slaves. How are you going to, what are you going to do about that? Ask black people to give black people reparation? Just none of it makes sense. None of it. China built cities in Africa so their people can live there. Last story in Rumblings and Ramblings had bullet holes hidden the painting. Trump said he was going to put Hillary in jail. He lied. Trump said he would release the 9/11 Commission reports. He lied. There's much more. How about you watch what he does? No, he never said he was going to put Hillary in jail. He said he could. He could put her in jail because people wanted her to go to jail. And he said, how can I put the wife of an ex-president in jail? How would that benefit the country? How will that heal the country? His statement was never that he would put her in jail. He could. She should. He never said he would. Half the stuff people say that he said he did, or half the stuff that they say he did, half the stuff that they said he said, none of it's true. Just bullshit media. Giving people who watch CNN, MSNBC, whatever it is, bloody ABC, all the same, you know, big media stations, they're just full of outright lies and they should all be put in prison for the mental cruelty that they give to people when they believe a whole load of shit. It's just absolute rubbish. And I mean absolute rubbish. Fake as fake can be. And you obviously one of those people that believe the fake stuff. Jews in West Africa controlled the slave trade as they have historically been. Yes. What can you do though? What can you do? Like the only reason people knew about black slaves is when they went over to Africa and found that they were dealing in slaves. But people forget there was white slaves earlier than that. We were put in boats, rowing them, whipped. The Romans had slaves. What? Everybody had slaves. The Persians had slaves. Is everybody going to get reparation? Everybody had slaves. Everybody had slaves throughout human civilization. The Egyptians had slaves. Everybody had slaves. Because they're a different color, does that make them worse off? Hell no. You want to be in a ship, whipped, no food, no drink, in the middle of the ocean? How is that good? White people, black people, doesn't make no difference. Should be no slaves. But there was slavery way before people went, oh, well, and talk about reparation. We've all been slaves. Every color has been a slave at some point. Let's get over it. Stop it. Let's move on. This is bullshit. People always wanted to be the victim, always wanted to get something for nothing. Yes, it was bad, but it was bad for every color. Every type of person has an ancestor that was probably a slave, or, you know, that race of people had ancestors that were slaves. Get over it. We're in 2024. There should be no slaves. There should be no poor people. There should be no veterans on the street. You know, things have to change. Life has to get better for everybody. But we have to stop living in the past and move forward and see the goodness that is in most people. Just has to stop. It's bullshit. Wanting something for nothing. These things have passed. It was a bad time. Let's try and live in good times. I don't see what's wrong with that. I really don't. Flying cars will make landlocked properties more accessible. Yes, invest in Archer. Bill, Toyota invested in a flying car company. Camp Anywhere. Yeah, they're doing quite well with the flying cars. Okay, man, that was his flip-flop after he was elected. No, it was just the bullshit that people believed before he was elected. Gorman is Irish, many Irish slaves. Yeah, everybody was a slave at some point. It's like, I don't know why it has to make such, you know, big repercussions in the world, and people feel so hard done by and they feel like they should get something. It's like, you didn't suffer. Nobody alive now suffered. No one alive now suffered. And whilst it's right to give these people an apology, every creed, every race, whatever, getting a financial recompense for these people is not going to help them. So to me, that says you're just greedy. You want it for you. You don't want it for the people that suffered. You want it for you. That's just crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Currently, the masses are free-range slaves. We're all slaves, yes. I'll agree with that, Trusted. You know, basically, we are living to feed ourselves in, you know, for most people, hardship. Because those people that are supposed to be looking after us are destroying us. The Irish P on the Blarney Stone Don't kiss. How do you know? Have you already kissed it? My ancestors are in the Scout Hunter's book. Who let the dogs out? I did. I'm definitely going. I think we've done as much as we can do. Can you imagine if the thanks for that moisturize. Can you imagine if the Vikings, Portuguese, Dutch, or Spanish became the dominant world power? Oh dear. Yeah, that would be funny. You know, reparation there. I keep saying restitution. It's a totally different thing. No reparation there. So thanks again for watching. You know, sometimes I go off in a rant, but it's because, you know, life is great if you're allowed to let it be great, you know. But so many things get in the way. It's just crazy. Like, some of them not important, but people make them out to be so important. People just want to be victims, and they want everybody to, you know, cater to them. And I don't get it. There are real victims. There are people on the streets, and some of them are, you know, their own worst enemies, and that's why they ended up on the streets. But the majority aren't, you know, and veterans shouldn't be on the streets. And pretty soon there won't be any money in people's pockets, because that'll be the society we live in. We live in a cashless society. Shops won't take money, they'll just take credit cards. Then any person you see begging on the streets, what are you going to give them? Your credit card. You know, they're not going to have, you know, those little machines. Like, yeah, just pop it in there, mate. Give us, you know, you got any spare credit cards? Ain't going to happen. We need to do something to stop, you know, the future just not existing for these people. Just should never be a veteran on the streets ever, for whatever reason. Which is why I was talking about, you know, Rambo saying nothing is over, nothing is over. It's like he talks about his friend being blown up and he, you know, he can't find his legs. It's like, just imagine you went through that. I think he did a really good job, you know, portraying that point in time when he realised, you know, when he let out what he'd been through. I know it's not real, but it's real for some of those people. And we just think it's okay to just leave them on the street. You know, he talks about, you know, back here at home, I'm no one. There I was driving, you know, expensive stuff, and I was in charge of, you know, £1 million things. And they struggle to live a normal life when they come home. And that's any war. It doesn't have to be Vietnam, you know. But yeah, it needs to change. We need to set up, you know, look after your own country first. You know, get the homeless off the streets. Get them into places, you know, where they're safe. Get the doctors that they need, you know, to look after them. Give them an address so they can get, you know, a check off the government. Give them the ability to, you know, earn money. Get a house. You know, integrate. Give them the things they need. Don't just walk over them on the street. That's just crazy. So those are the things that, you know, we should be concerned about at the moment. Not allowing immigrants into any country. I have Viking blood. Yeah, I gathered that by the helmet that he had on the head with the horns coming out. This is a good video to watch about the Vikings. All right. I've been watching, well, not watching, watched the, was it Netflix? They did the Viking sort of serial thing. Chinese AI won't let me make government heads up their butts. I wonder why, Bill. See, and people say they don't want to live in America. Well, try living in China then. You won't be able to do that. Okay, I'm definitely going. I keep saying I'm going. I'm still here. Thank you very much. Hope you're all getting ready for the festive season. Please remember why it is the festive season. It's not just about turkey and gifts. It is about Christ. That is why we celebrate. Thank y'all. Take care. Sweet dreams.